know. They just speculating. Because if you can't read hieroglyphics, how can you tell me that's Ramses? For real, you really don't know. If you saying that we can't really read this language, that everybody that you're saying such and such, from that standpoint, you can't define it as such because you can't read the language. You say you can't read Metunet, but we know who the nations are because we can read Hebrew. So we know who the nations are. Now, let's go down here. Look at this. Look at this right here. This right here is a Hebrew. This is a Hebrew from the region of Sinai. And you can find this in the funeral temple of Ramses I. You see that? That's an image. That's an image of the Zachariah temple in Egypt of the Hebrews. And here's a better picture so you can see, because I have another picture of him. The same person. This is him right here. That's him. That's him, and you can see him with his fringes on. You see that? That's him right there. Then I'm going to give you a close-up, because we come in different shades of brown.
Hold it right there and get the
from high yellow to dark brown.
See the fringes?
You see that right there?
I'm going to read the caption. It says, the Bedouin captive. And he's wearing a fringes with a ribbon of blue.
You see that? And we're told that the Bedouins, we're always told these are Bedouins or whatever. And this is for years. European historians have attempted to obscure the true identity of the ancient Hebrews with names like Bedouin and Berber. The image of this captive was found in the funeral temple of Ramses III. He is obviously a very important Hebrew shape, probably a Midianite. We know he's a Hebrew. His hair is in unmistakably ancient Hebrew style, locked.
Right. That's the
close-up. That's the close-up of him.
Let me read the caption in the right where it says right here. It says, he is obviously a very important Hebrew sheik. Probably a Midianite. No, he's not a Midianite. That's what they put in there.
Right.
Right. His hair is in the unmistakable ancient Hebrew style locks. See how they put in lies with truth? They're saying he's a Midianite, then he's saying a Hebrew. Even though the Midianites are Hebrews, but that was a Hebrew Israelite.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly. We're about to get deeper too, because they say in archaeology, we don't have no archaeology, right? Let's go up. Now, here's a picture of the Philistines. The Philistines are in fact a group of Egyptians.
Cousins.
They're cousins. If you actually look at the genealogy of the descendants of Ham or Ham, you will see that the Philistines are Hamites that are descendants of Mitzrayim. You'll see, and they're from the island of Crete. Now, it says the Holy Scriptures are full of references to the Philistines. The map below, talking about this map, shows the areas in which they lived. As you can see, this also is a map of the Middle Eastern lands. So if the Philistines lived in the Middle East, then the Israelites must have lived in the Middle East, because we often fought these Philistines for this same land. This map shows the land of the Philistines, which is the same land of the Israelites. Now, if all this stuff is a lie, why is it? Because for a long time they said that the Hittite society and the Philistine society of ancient times was mythology and it was made up. But this right here is a scene from the temple of Ramses III, showing a famous battle with the Philistines, who are easily distinguished by their feathered headdresses. these brothers right here you see are going into Egyptian captivity.
And what it says, the feathered headdress,
Yeah.
just like the Zulus.
Right.
And that's the Philistines are close affiliation with the Zulus.
Sure, the Africans, Ammonites. So you say that the Egyptians never had people in slavery. Let's get more deeper and find out if what we're saying is truth or a lie. This is the Moabite story. Now the Moabites are Hebrews, but they're not Hebrew Israelites. The Moabites are descendants of Lot through the incest that they had with his daughters, The Moabites and the Ammonites are the fathers of what we know today as the Chinese and the Japanese. Am I correct?
Correct.
This is a historical fact. It says the set up by Meshach, king of Moab, to record his victory over Ahab, the king of Israel, in 860 BCE. Although Moab broke away from the united monarchy at this time, it was later reconquered by Omri. It shows, and this right here is a replica of the original Moabite stone. This important inscription was discovered intact in 1868. It was subsequently broken, presumably by local Bedouin tribesmen, and in 1873 it was taken to the Louvre. The two panels below are the translation of the Moabite stone text that relates to the Israelites. It says, as for Omar, king of Israel, he humbled Moab many years, literal days, for Chemosh was very angry at his land, and his son followed him, and he also said, I will humble Moab. In my time he spoke thus, but I have triumphed over him and over his house, while Israel had perished forever. And I cut beams for Kohar with Israelite captives. Now, y'all gotta hear that. So, when we was fighting the Moabites at this time, they wrote about the war that we had with them. Now, you say that the so-called Bible is a plagiaristic collection of ancient Kemetic writings. How could that be when you have archaeological evidence outside the Bible showing that these wars really occurred?
Right, and saying that Israel never existed. There's no such thing as Israel. There's no history of Israel.
Exactly. There's no history of Israel. You heard what the priest just said. But we know that's a goddamn lie, because we see it right here. Let's continue on. The Giza calendar. It shows that it says below, this is an artist's rendering of the same tablet. But if you look down and it speaks about the Giza calendar, do you get deep? No, it just shows that we were dealing with a calendar. This relic shows above is a rare example of ancient Hebrews date and time. It is a part of what is known as the Giza calendar, named after the city in which it was found. This highly prized ancient clay artifact was written around 925 BCE. So was dealing with the Hebrew, and there was a question that was put out saying, do you have a manuscript written before Moses? Well, let me show you. Hold on.
And 925 BCE, that would be around the time of Solomon, right after Solomon, during Solomon's reign.
Right, because he died when? 930 BCE, 931.
Yeah.
And that's key to Exodus. Now, here's a diagram of the Lashawan Quadish, the Holy Talk, spiritual sound of creation. This portion right here says Hebrew, our true language, was put together by the house of David. And if you look at each of the scripts, one of the main scripts they show is the Proto-Sinaitic Hebrew, 1900 BCE. Well, Moses was born 1526 BCE. So there was a script, an ancient Hebrew script written way before Moses even came into existence, people was already writing with this script. And not only that, we know that Hebrew is the first